Cousin Jared, you had said something to me before show that this is basically a math show. And I thought that was an interesting comment that you made. And I think it's absolutely correct. And I've seen a lot of people on Twitter talk about sports betting is a lot about math. It's a lot about self-control, right? Understanding, decision making, that sort of thing. But it's critical thinking stuff. But there's a lot of math, and I'm glad you said that. I think it's just an interesting talking point here heading into people's weekends to remember that that's what we're here doing. We're just trying to use some math, and some of the math's a little complicated with the model, but some of the math's just basic probability. It's not overly complicated. It's just, the math is the math, and try to make sure that we're on the smart side of the math, the right side of the math, that we're consistently making good math decisions is crucial. Maybe that's the way I should sell, the product here, is that that's what we're trying to do, is just say, here's how to use math to make better gambling decisions.
Yeah, it's a lot of math, and I would say it's also a lot of psychology. And unfortunately, one of us only has experience in one of those things. And I mean, I don't know about you, I don't have any experience in the second thing. So we'll stick to the math. We'll leave the psychology out of it.
We'll stick to the math. Absolutely. And that's, the last thing I want to say about this really is just, if you have, if you're out there as a bettor watching the show, looking to get some good insights into some picks, obviously, that's what we're here to do. But if you're struggling with winning, your problem is probably math based. And that's what we're here to talk about, is what are some good prices, the principles that we're outlining are things to be thinking about, because just solving some math issues could be the basic difference between making, going from a losing better to a winning better. And that's what we're here to do, is to make people better bettors. We will have 2 day games on Friday. One already scheduled, one the makeup from the doubleheader. Not going to cover either one of those games. Going to jump right to 7:20 p.m. Giants at the Braves. Cousin Jared, we backed the Giants a ton in their really good stretch. We have not backed them as much as of late. We've actually faded them a couple times. It's been a better decision to fade them a few times as of late. The model's done a really good job with them here the last couple of months, I think, knowing when to back them, when to fade them. They haven't looked quite as good lately. Overall, their bullpen's still pretty solid. Offense, decent. Maybe not as good as it maybe looked earlier in the season. The Braves offense, of course, keeps rolling along. Yep. 2 pitchers in Alex Cobb and Spencer Strider with very similar ERAs, but of course the underlying metrics suggest that this is about who Cobb is. A good pitcher, maybe not a great pitcher. A guy we backed a lot previously, maybe going to, hasn't been as successful. I think kind of the market's caught up to him. There was a while I think people thought Cobb was an average pitcher. He's definitely better than average. So we took advantage of that. At this point, though, he gets an 88 grade. Good. I think the market's kind of caught up. He's good. The underlying metrics suggest he's good. Nothing more than that, though, as opposed to Strider, who the underlying metrics suggest is incredible. Of course, he's still the second best active pitcher, according to Southern. Held the best active pitcher for a little stretch there. It was Framber Valdez after his hot start, had it. Then Framber started faltering, and so Strider had it. Now, Strider's looked a little bit shakier here the last 10-ish starts, maybe not quite as good as normal, but the underlying metrics are still there. I still expect him to go out and pitch really well the rest of the season. As you can see, he's got a really nice rating there. Braves, highly favored in this game. Model says they win 70% of the time. Unfortunately, an A grade would be minus 195 on the money line. It's minus 215 right now. An A grade on the run line would be plus 103. The run line right now is minus 105. We're pretty solidly at a B grade on either one. We're going to be on the minus 1. Again, kind of like I talked about at the beginning, right? This is a math problem here. If you take the run line, the money line, the minus 1, in the end, the math's going to work out about the same. You are going to, if you play it more aggressively, you're going to win less, but you're going to win more when you do it, and you're going to lose less when you lose. If you play it more conservatively, you're going to win more, but you're going to win less when you do it. It all kind of comes out in the wash for the most part. It's all about personal preference. Y'all know me. I like this minus 1. Cousin Jared, Braves minus 1. As always, I'm going to ask you after your analysis, do you like the minus 1.5 of the money line more for those people who want to just pick one or the other?
Well, I like the Braves on the money line, probably. If I had to pick an A play, anything, better than what is it, minus 214. I think you can get them like around minus 212, 213 in some places. That's personally what I would prefer to do here. But for me, this is just number one, don't want to pass up the opportunity to back Strider whenever you can. Number two, obviously a huge offensive mismatch here. Not only is the Braves offense amazing, that the Giants had a rating of 101 for their offense. I would say as of recent, it's definitely been below 100. They have had some challenges recently, and going against Strider, I think that's only going to amplify those problems. I know he's had some up and down starts here as of recently, but he strikes a lot of guys out. And I don't think that the Giants are in a place right now where they can really capitalize against him on the few times they might actually get a ball in play. I don't think they're going to be able to capitalize on that. So it's only a B grade, but for me, the chance to back one of the best pitchers in the game against a struggling offense, sign me up.
Yeah, and just correct you there on the note, 214 or better be the B grade price.
Yeah.
So it's right around a B grade right now. Because we talked about this yesterday or 2 days ago, I can't remember which day, with the Dodgers, where anytime at this point with the way they've been playing, if you can back them, you do. Now, that doesn't mean you take them every night. It doesn't mean that's, again, we're a math show, right? We're trying to tell you where the math is favorable and get you to be thinking about these things. You don't have to agree with our math specifically, but at least be having a point where the math supports your theory. You wouldn't just play the Braves at minus 300 and play the Dodgers at minus 300 or whatever, unless it was the A's or whatever, right? But anytime you can have an edge on the Dodgers or on the Braves, even if it's only a minor edge, it feels like it's a time to exploit it. That's kind of, I think, where you and I are both on this. Like, as good as the Braves are, B grade, Strider, great. And I think there might be a little bit of value in this because the results for Strider have not been there lately. But I don't think that's predictive. I think that's just been some bad luck. I think he's still good to go. And so I think we can capitalize on that. Don't know if he's going to bounce back here and pitch a great one against the Giants. We just think the odds are in our favor that it's more likely than not he does. And that this price is pretty decent. Again, my official pick here, the -1, slightly better odds because of Jared. You prefer playing a little more conservative on the money line. Again, as I always say, whatever your personal preference is for that one. Total in this game is 8.5. Model says 9.1. With the Braves offense, slightly warm night in Atlanta, maybe a slight breeze blowing out, going to help the offense a little bit. But we've seen Strider, even on a hot night, can really shut bats down. Cobb's not a bad pitcher. Yeah. It's a scary over, in my opinion. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree. Part of me wants to go over because of the weather and the Braves offense, but then you got Strider on the other side and a struggling Giants offense. So this is definitely a stay away.
Yeah, it's kind of what I was thinking. And I don't really think there's a great first 5 angle on this either. Both bullpens are pretty solid. But again, we've seen Strider go out and throw 5 shutout innings many a time. So, Model would lean over. It's not a play I'm comfortable making in this situation. Next game up, 8:40 p.m. Eastern, White Sox and the Rockies. Cousin Jared, I posed the question to people, hey, do you want to talk about the interesting games, the big games, the competitive games? And people say, we just want to make money. All right, we just make money. Here you go. This is the crap of the crap on a Friday night, White Sox and the Rockies. Two teams that are very sad. The Rockies offense is just,
really bad.
Below 70 is bad. Yeah, standard deviation is 15. So, anything below 70 is more than 2 standard deviations worse than average. And that's tough for an average for a whole team. It's not crazy for one player to be 2 standard deviations below average. It is crazy for a whole team to be. And that's just, not good. Rockies relievers decent, though. Both these pitchers are, Kopech, 4.50 ERA. Advanced metrics really don't like him. So, kind of depending on what you look at. If you're more of an XFIP guy, more of a FIP guy, more of an XCRA guy, Sierra, right? There's all the different things. You can kind of convince yourself Kopech's somewhere between below average and well below average. Model says pretty far below average. But the Rockies offense, nothing to write home about. As below average as Kopech is, the Rockies offense is still worse. On the flip side of that, Peter Lambert, 4.56 ERA. It's not bad for pitching in cores, advanced metrics, especially that XFIP we talked about yesterday. We talked about this. Normalizing that home run rate, which your home run rate's going to be higher in cores no matter what. Not a terrible pitcher. And again, closer to league average than the White Sox offenses. So pitching going to have the edge here, as crazy as that is to say, given those starting pitcher ratings. with regards to the side, pretty coin toss game, maybe a slight lean here to the Rockies. It doesn't reach A grade threshold. I kind of think anytime you're talking about a game in Coors, your thresholds need to be a little bit higher on anything that you take, because anything can happen. The games seem kind of weird. We're going to be on the under 12. We've done this a few times, taking the under at Coors. It's mostly worked this season. We've picked those spots. Cousin Jared, maybe a little bit of a hold your nose and play anytime you go under in Coors.
Yeah, definitely. So I've been trying to come up with the words in my mind here for the past couple of minutes on how to say this. I'm going to completely butcher this. But, we talk about the Dodgers offense a lot. We talk about, the Padres have a good offense. We talk
Braves.
about Braves have a really good offense. Yep. The Rockies offense is more bad than any of those offenses are good.
Yep.
I mean, like the level of ineptitude of this Rockies offense is something like it is something to write home about. And
combined with a couple of the injuries, which is terrible timing for them too. It's like it's not about the guys. It's the 9 guys they have out there.
Yeah, the people on the field right now. So obviously, you look at when you're looking at total, you look at the park factors. Okay, well, obviously, Coors is kind of off the charts, but there's no additional there's no additional weather factors. It's not like the wind's blowing out, it's not like it's a super warm day in Denver or anything like that. So there's no additional weather right now. Let me tell you, if the Rockies aren't getting any additional help right now, they're going to struggle. And again, the White Sox aren't anything to write home about either. And so this is just one of those things. I feel like this number is at 12 simply because it's at Coors Field. And they're not looking at what these teams are actually putting on the field or how, totals have actually played this year in Coors Field.
Rockies played in a barn burner Wednesday afternoon against the Diamondbacks, 9-7. It was 95 degrees because 95 degrees in Denver. Yeah. And it was a slight breeze blowing in, but I mean, it's 95 degrees with the thin air up there. I mean, that ball it's not just that it carries. It's that the exit velocities are faster, right? It's like because the air is thin, like the ball gets through the air to the outfield quicker. It just leads to more hits, more doubles, more home runs, more everything. It's going to be mid-70s in this night game. It's going to be kind of a normal night. We're going to have a wind blowing in at up to 10 miles an hour. Like you said, the weather's not going to do it for them here. The park's going to help a little bit, but that park can only help so much, especially with the ineptitude of this Rockies offense. This White Sox offense, not really that good either. I believe Tim Anderson will be out for this one. I think he's agreed to start a 5-game suspension starting with this game. It's going to make the offense even worse for the White Sox. I'm like you, this is a total that's at 12 because it's at Coors, but really it should be 11, maybe even less. Model says 10.5. And if you set this at 10.5 or 11, I think that's pretty spot on. 10.5, I couldn't go under because this game could get to 11, could be a tie game. And odd numbers have a higher likelihood of being landed on. And being a tight game could easily be 5-5, right? But 12 is just a bridge too far, and one of the ones where a pretty solid total edge here. We have one other total that we do really like. We're not talking about it here. We don't have time to talk about so many things. But just as a reminder, you can get all those total plays over on Dub Club. And because Jared, it's another doozy. Between that one and this one, I think we're both really excited about both of the total plays here for Friday.
We are.
That'll take us to our late game here, 9:40 p.m. Eastern. Orioles and the Athletics. Kyle Gibson versus Luis Medina. Gibson better than the ERA. Underlying metric suggests his ERA should be around 4. Definitely a guy who can give you some innings. Medina, probably better than his ERA too. 5.31 ERA. Advanced metrics say more mid to upper 4s, but Gibson's the better pitcher here. I don't think that's breaking any news. Of course, the Orioles offense is better. A's relievers are really in trouble. And of course, we want to talk about the Orioles, the reliever rating at 96. The top 3 reliever rating gets a 77, obviously. Bautista leading that, and a couple of other guys back at the back end. If you can get 6 innings from Gibson, you are locked and loaded with the back end of that bullpen. We backed the A's last time at big plus odds, and as I think we mentioned it then, we said, hey, when we back the A's, we're winning. When we fade the A's, we're winning. We've got to be thinking about our spots. I wish there were more teams that were extreme like the A's, because it's great to have these spots like that. Hey, now's a good opportunity to fade them here. Model says Orioles win this 2 out of 3 times, and that the price should be in the low 200s. Right now, we're going to play the -1 at -139. Whether you're playing this on the money line or the run line, it's a good investment. According to Sideline, the money line is a slightly better investment. The money line of minus 171 just ekes into that A grade territory. For the run line, the price of minus 105 is just on the other side of A grade. So you're right around the A grade either way. -1 is the official pick. Cousin Jared, same question for you. We obviously love fading the A's. We love backing the A's. We love whatever we got to do with the A's based off of basically who's pitching for them. But with the Orioles here, you like the money line, you like the run line better, or do you like the split play?
Yeah. So I feel like I haven't said this personally in a while, but always good to have a reminder, shop around. Because there are places where you can see like, I don't know, minus 172, minus 173 on, the Orioles here. And anytime that I can fade the A's at like less than minus 200, sign me up. Like, I know that I am going to lose more.
Blackburn aside.
Yeah, well, yeah. Blackburn aside, I'm gonna fade him on the money line just because it feels safer to me. Yes, when they hop up and win a game, then sure. But I've seen enough crazy things with the A's. They're down by 6 runs, and they'll come back and score some runs late and make it way closer than it needs to be this season. So just kind of my style. I prefer the money line here. And again, it's only 8.2 runs, something like that, it projected in this game. That's why I don't really like laying a run and a half. I would kind of go money line, and then I'd go lay the run, and then run and a half if I had to. But yeah, this is just a lesson, people. It's all about the number. We love the A's the other day, don't like the A's today, and it's all about the number that you can get.
Yep. It doesn't show it on the screen there for whatever reason, but this is an A grade pick at the -1. And if you take Cousin Jared's advice and just go more conservative with the money line, that would be an A grade as well. For those of you who are newer and haven't heard this, my rule of thumb is if the run line is minus odds, I'll go to the -1. I just don't like playing the -1.5 that much personally. It just creates, personally, it's just because of sports betting is a math problem. We've already covered that. It's a self-control problem. It's bankroll management, right? There's that. There's also just the mental health aspect of surviving the grind of doing this day in and day out. And me personally, when it's -1.5 and a team, I just don't do it often. And when I do, I find myself half the time hating myself for doing it because the team's up by 1, and then I'm like, what do I want to happen here? Like, team's up by 1 in the 8th, and I'm like, do I want the other team to score 1 or not? Like, I could still get 1 back in the 9th, but also like maybe going to extras is better. Like, it's frustrating. And so personally, I just like the -1. But again, it's whatever you personally feel comfortable with. Here, I think the Orioles are a good investment. We faded the A's a lot this season. We tended to back them in the rights only in certain spots when the math was on our side. The math is not on your side to back the A's. It doesn't mean the A's won't win. They do win randomly, but this is a good edge on the Orioles. Total in the low 8s, according to Sideline model. The Sideline model actual total 8.5, so not really much of an edge there on the total. And as we talk about first 5, not a first 5 market I would ever mess with in this game because I want that A's bullpen involved. Same with the Royals. Right? Anytime you're fading the Royals, I want the Royals bullpen involved. If I'm backing the Royals or the A's, I want to do it in the first 5. I want to hopefully have a lead, hold my breath, get a dodge, and not deal with the two of the worst bullpens. 2 of the worst bullpens we've seen in the last 10 years probably. Those 2. Reminder here, since this is our A grade play, get another A+ winner with the Mariners here on Thursday. It's 14-3 for the month. So a few more people signing up over on Black Book. Again, if you just want that A+ play, that at minimum, people, you should be doing that. Just go over there. Another winner for the A+ play today. More are coming. It's just baseball is good. College football plays of the day have been good. It's worth your investment over there. And as a reminder, as well, we've got a couple other. There's the A+ play of the day for Friday. There's 2 other A grade plays that I absolutely love on top of the A+ play of the day. And if you want to get all those A plays, those are on Double Club. Those continue to roll along. So again, all those links in the show description. Check that out.
It was very difficult to pick which A grade we were going to cover on the show. So that's a sign of potentially good things. Yeah.
It was. There are 4 A grades. We covered 1 on show. 1's the A+ play of the day, and the other 2 are out there as well for Dub Club. And all 4 of them, are just like I'm salivating. It's one of those where it's like 3 of the 4 are probably going to win, maybe all 4. But you have bad days. But I'm going to go on record. I'm going to be surprised if only 2 of them win. I feel like it's got to be through. But I just love the 4. A grade plays we have for now. I'm sure we'll have more in the morning. But that will take us to our pitcher prop of the day. Going to cover another one not on show. Sandy Alcantara under 5.5 strikeouts. Going to lay a little bit of juice here at minus 138. Cousin Jared, this one's pretty simple. He's playing the Dodgers. Dodgers offense is really good. The biggest thing with Sandy, and I don't have the picture here to show you on the next screen, you'll have to take my word for it, but his strikeouts are very correlated with his innings pitched. You can see per 9 innings, he's 7.5 strikeouts. He's not a real high strikeout per inning guy. He gets a lot of strikeouts because he pitches a lot of innings, and he's still throwing a lot of innings this year, maybe not quite as many as last year. For the most part, though, it's all about how many innings he goes. He got hit around pretty well by the Dodgers last year. This year's obviously been a little bit of a worse year for him. He might have a great start against the Dodgers. It's obviously possible, but I like my chances that he's not going to be able to go 7 innings against the Dodgers. And based off how many strikeouts he gets, per inning, it feels like he's got to go 7 to get 6 strikeouts on average. And that's just that's a tough thing to ask any pitcher against this Dodgers offense. So a really good pitcher, pitching probably better here the last couple of months at the start of the season, but anytime you can fade a pitcher against the Dodgers offense, it's never a bad idea. Might be getting a little extra value here because of those last couple starts that Sandy's had, especially that last one, that complete game shutout. Pitched really well. I believe that was against the Yankees. It's a very different offense for the Yankees and the Dodgers. Two totally different worlds. Because, Joe, do you have anything to add?
Only thing I have to add, I think the way this play loses is that Gonsolin just bombs and the Marlins get up big and they just leave Alcantara out there and they don't care if he gives up 4 or 5 runs. They've scored 8 and so they're just like, hey, eat up some innings for us. I think that's how you lose this play. I like this one a lot. I think it's just very, very difficult to envision him going 6+, getting to 7 innings against this Dodgers offense.
Yeah, and there's obviously the small chance, right? I mean, every once in a while, the Dodgers offense will only score 1 or 2 runs in a game, right? So it's obviously possible. It's just you don't see that very often. It's more likely they put up 8 than 2. And so assuming that it's not one of those just complete missed nights, and even if it is, right, even if that happens, the Dodgers still may not strike out 6 times against him, right? So it's like you got a lot of ways this can win. Not too terrible of odds there here. So you're going to go under 5.5 strikeouts for Sandy Alcantara as our pitcher prop of the day. Don't forget Outlier.bet/professor. It's your 7-day free trial to check out all the graphics, the stats, the integrations, the plus expected value plays, all of the goodies there. It's a lot of fun. Just check it out. Again, that link's in the show description for that 7-day free trial and see if you can make some money backing props. That's all we've got then for you here today. Cousin Jared, any parting words for People's Friday?
The professor is hard at work on the college football model, and we will have a show for you probably a lot sooner than you think.
Pretty soon we'll have a show. And yes, a lot of work with the rosters. Been dropping a lot of the fun nuggets in the Discord that I've been, coming across with the rosters. I think the fact that there is a quarterback out there who does not play in Division I, unfortunately, or Division. I don't know if they're FCS or Division II or what, but named Steel Fortress. If you're out there listening, Steel Fortress or parents of Steel Fortress, excellent job with that name. That is incredible, and I don't think it'll be topped anytime soon. I think that's probably the Heisman Trophy winner of names in college football this season, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's going to be fun. And it's going to be fun. We talk about outliers in college football all the time. We've got some new teams coming in to FBS this season, and they're already ranked in your model better than some other teams that have been there for a long time. And so it's just one of those things. College football is the best.
Yeah, I was texting the group about that. The new teams coming in, like they're not ranked well, but they are definitely like pretty far ahead of UMass and Akron. Are just way down there at the bottom. So we'll have that episode coming out soon. A lot of good things here. Again, check out Black Book or Club, whichever one you're just interested in, the A+ play of the day or all the great picks in the Discord chat and all the other goodies. A lot of benefit to being over there with us. Otherwise, though, thank you for tuning into this episode of Picks with the Professor. Don't forget to subscribe so you can enjoy the sports betting content provided on this channel shipped right into your feed. Be back again Monday with more baseball content. But until then, as always, best of luck. And remember, you can eat your betting money, but please don't bet your eating money